Hello, everybody. Hello, good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Good evening, everyone. Please, if you can hear me, just indicate that you can hear me, right? If you can, please just indicate that you can hear me. Just say something in the comment so that I know that you can hear me, right? Just say something in the comment that I know so that I know that you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me and see me, please just indicate in the chat, right? So that I can hear. Okay, thank you, Celebrity Gossip Plus. Celebrity Gossip Plus says, I can hear you. Oh, Ewane Gracia says, I can hear you, right? I can hear you. I can see other people who have joined. Just let me know, that you can hear me, right? Um, Thank you. I do not peace. I can see you, Dorcas, Evelyn Ahu, blessed fingers. I can see you. Right. Nice to have everybody here again. I wish to apologize for yesterday. Yesterday we weren't able to finish the class because of internet, right? But then we're going to finish today, and I'm also going to take questions, right? I'm sure you know me, already by now. My name is Simplice Sikadi. I took time to present myself yesterday. My name is Simplice Sikadi, trainer, Google trainer, digital marketing analyst at Impact, and I'm going to be sharing my experience in digital marketing with you, right? So I'm happy to be here. Please make sure you like the video. Just make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share, so that we can have as many people as possible join this training, right? It's totally free. So like, comment, and share, right? So that many people can join, right? Please don't forget to subscribe too, because I'm going to be uploading more videos on this channel, right? So please don't forget to subscribe so that you can benefit from them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that. Okay, so yesterday we're looking at the ABCs of digital marketing, right? Just the ABCs of digital marketing. We're looking at it yesterday, and we defined digital marketing, right? And I said it in simple words that digital marketing is really just you promoting your products and services using digital platforms, right? As simple as that. That's what digital marketing is in simple terms. You taking advantage of digital channels and digital technologies to promote your products and services. That's all it is, right? And we also saw the difference, between digital marketing and online marketing. I noticed that many people didn't know that there is a difference between digital marketing and online marketing. They are not the same, right? And I said that digital marketing, usually involves offline platforms. For example, a phone call is digital marketing, right? Making a phone call is digital marketing. Printing a billboard, posting a billboard is digital marketing. Advertising on TV, on radio, on newspapers, those are all forms of digital marketing, right? But they are not necessarily online marketing. Online marketing focuses on that part of digital marketing that requires the internet to function. You see that? So digital marketing has aspects of it that doesn't necessarily require the internet. You don't need the internet to send an SMS. You don't need the internet to advertise on TV, on radio, right? They are all forms of digital marketing, but they are not necessarily online marketing because they don't need the internet, right? Online marketing is that aspect of digital marketing that focuses on internet, on the use of internet, right? And we mentioned a number of them: social media, search engine optimization, search engine, marketing, display adverts, and a lot more. right? We saw all of that yesterday. Now, we also saw the importance of digital marketing yesterday, right? We saw the importance of digital marketing. We saw that digital marketing can make you earn money, right? I told you, for example, that for over 7 years now, I've been solely living on digital marketing. And, for over 3 years, almost 3 years, I've been working from home, right? Earning my money, largely 90% of them from digital work, right? So digital marketing will give you money. You can make a living, you can earn a living from digital marketing. Many companies are making thousands of dollars from it. We also saw yesterday that it's cheaper, right? Digital marketing is cheaper compared to other forms of marketing, right? It's cheaper, especially because, usually for you to do offline marketing, you will need to spend money, right? You have to spend money on brochures, training people, you know. Offline marketing has a lot of expenditures. You even need a store where you're going to be selling your stuff. You need a lot of things to keep, um, your offline marketing going. But now, I'm not saying offline marketing doesn't work, right? I'm just giving you the advantages of digital marketing. Digital marketing is cheaper because you don't need a store, you don't need to rent a space necessarily, you don't need anything. All you need is the product, right? And then you start selling. And with very little amount of money, you can touch thousands of people. You can run adverts with $10, $5, you see that, and touch thousands of people. We saw that another advantage of digital marketing is the fact that you can target. Not only can you touch thousands of people, you can decide the kind of people you want to touch. You can decide to be in Cameroon and touch people in Nigeria. You can be in Nigeria, touch people in Ghana. Not just that, you can decide the kind of people you want to touch in these different countries. You can touch people within a specific age range. You can touch people with specific characteristics, specific demographics in specific locations. You see that? So it has a lot of advantages. It's available 24/7. If you have a physical store, for example, at 5 p.m. you lock the store and probably go to the house. But if you have an online store, it's running 24/7, and you know that sometimes when it is night here, it is day somewhere else, right? So while we are having the night here, somewhere else, there can be the day, and then they are buying from you. You see that you're not limited by geographical location, you're not limited by time, right? And also engagement, the fact that you can engage with people, you can send out posts, receive people's feedbacks, receive people's review, and you can look at these reviews and make your business even better, right? We saw all of this yesterday, just the advantages of digital marketing, right? And then we also saw, the scope of digital marketing, because I was explaining yesterday that many people really don't know what digital marketing is. That's what I've noticed. Many people don't know what digital marketing is. Today, people who are content creators believe it's digital marketing. People who are posting on social media believe it's digital marketing, right? Like I was saying, digital marketing in today has been reduced to content creation. It has been reduced to, social media posting, and I don't know why, right? Whereas there are digital marketers that I know, they have never made a social media post, but they make money, right? That's to tell you that there is much more to digital marketing than just making a post, you know. Making a post, right? There's much more to digital marketing than just making a post. Okay. yesterday, oh, I think my network, you know, okay, I think it's network again. Yeah, I think it should be network again, but I'm here, right? I'm here. I think it's largely network, but then I'm back, right? I'm back. So what I did was that I moved to another distributor, right? Or another network provider, right? So I just made sure that we don't have the same challenge that we had yesterday. So what I did is I brought together several network providers, right? So just in case one is disturbing, I'll move to the other. Okay, so nice that we are here. Okay, so I said that yesterday we're looking at the different ways you could promote your products and services online, right? Just the different ways. And I was just explaining that many people have reduced digital marketing to just content creation and all of that, right? Now, one of the first ways to promote your product online, from what we saw yesterday, is just content creation, right? And I explained that content creation has as objective, nurturing your prospects, growing your page and your presence. And there is a statistic that shows that for somebody to buy your product or your service, that person has to see your post at least 8 times, right? There's a statistic that shows that the person has to see your post at least 8 times. So if you're someone who doesn't post regularly, you're going to have issues, right? If you're someone who doesn't post regularly, you're going to have challenges, right? Because people will not trust you. And I explained that yesterday. I also said yesterday that one of the challenges I notice with people who create content is that they create what we call egocentric content, right? Meaning that their content is not solving any problem. Their content is just trying to sell a product, right? So you find them saying, buy from me, I'm the best seller of this, I'm the best this of that, right? You go on their page, someone who is selling shoes, for example, you go on the person's page and you just see new shoes, new clothes, and all of that, right? Now, and I explained yesterday that it's not bad. The only challenge is that you're only thinking about yourself. When creating content, think about others, right? Once you position yourself in the market as someone who is trying to solve problems, people will start buying from you. People will start following you, right? For example, if you're selling cakes online, of course, there is that space for just posting cakes. But you see, at some point, you have to ask yourself the question, what are the challenges that my target audience is facing, right? What are the challenges that people face when it comes to cakes? Identify them and start creating videos that solve them. Start creating videos that meet needs. Once you position yourself as someone who is meeting a need and not necessarily someone who is selling a product, people will start buying from you, right? So it's very important to note that when it comes to content creation. Now, another thing we saw yesterday is search engine optimization. And I think that this is where network began to disturb, right? When we looked at search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization is what you do to ensure that your website ranks higher on the Google search engine, right? Now, that may be big English, right? Let me explain it to you in a very, right? Let me explain it to you in a very, very simple way. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you. First, I'm going to remove this from the screen, right? I'm going to remove right? I'm going to share my screen with you so that I can explain what search engine optimization is in simple terms for you to understand, right? So let me share my screen with you so that I can explain it in a simple way that you can understand. So this is my Google, right? So I'm trying to explain search engine optimization to you. Let's say I'm selling laptops, right? In Cameroon or in Nigeria. Let's say I'm selling laptops. I'll go to Google, I'll type laptops for. So I'm selling laptops. Somebody comes to Google and types laptops for sale in Cameroon, right? Laptops for sale in Cameroon. Now, when I type laptops for sale in Cameroon, you're going to notice that there are so many websites trying to get my attention. Just look at this. If I scroll down, look at the number of websites that are selling laptops in Cameroon. Now, these things that you're seeing here, right? These ones, they are called the Google My Business Profile. I'm going to have time to explain this to you, right? It's called the Google My Business Profile. Don't worry, I will explain it to you. But for now, I just want you to see the number of people trying to sell laptops to me. Look at the website. Ube is trying to sell. Now, if I scroll computer, these are all people trying to sell laptops. And guess what? I can go to page 2. If I go to page 2, you're going to see them. Now, truth is that many people don't even have time to go to page 2. Many people. In fact, I'm sure that on this class, right, there are people who are discovering page 2 for the first time. Right? Now, I've seen that in many classes. I'm sure that some people are just discovering page 3, page 4, 5, 6 for the first time. I've seen that so many times. Nobody will have time to go to page 2. So if you're selling laptops in Cameroon, and I come on Google and I type laptops for sale, if your website doesn't appear either at the first, second, or third, I'm not going to buy from you, right? I'm not going to buy from you. Imagine that your laptop, your website appears maybe at page 6 or page 7. I mean, nobody will ever have time to go and search till page 7, right? So search engine optimization ensures that your website appears at the top or on the first page of the Google search engine result whenever somebody makes a research related to your product or service, right? I hope I've been able to explain it in a very simple way. So if somebody researches anything that is related to your product or your service on Google, SEO, search engine optimization, ensures that your website appears at the first position. Because if it doesn't appear there, nobody will buy. That's search engine optimization, right? Now, how do you do this search engine optimization? Now, I may not be able to go into details, right, of how you do search engine optimization. But then search engine optimization is usually done with what we call the Google Search Console, right? Now, like I told you, I promised you that we're going to have more trainings, right, where I was going to really take time and explain this in details. But search engine optimization is usually done with what we call the Google Search Console, right? And there are different types of search engine optimization, usually 3 categories, right? There's what we call on-page SEO. SEO means search engine optimization. So there's what we call on-page SEO. On-page SEO ensures that the content of your website is good quality and that it is content that people are actually looking for, right? That's what SEO ensures. SEO ensures that whatever is on your website is something that is of good quality, something that people are looking for. That's what we call on-page SEO. So usually to do on-page SEO, you have to do what we call keyword research, right? Don't worry about it. As we go further, I will explain, right, in other trainings. Then we have what we call off-page SEO. Off-page SEO is like the marketing the website. making sure that your website is mentioned Please just notify that you can hear me if you're able to. Can you hear me? Just notify that you can hear me. I think it's network. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. Thank you. I'm sorry for the network, right? Really not something I can control, right? So I was just explaining what SEO is, right? And I was telling you that we have what we call on-page SEO that manages what happens within your website. We have off-page SEO that manages what happens outside of your website, right? Off-page SEO ensures that your website is mentioned in other websites, what we usually would call backlinks and mentions, right? So off-page SEO ensures that what is happening in your website is mentioned in other websites, right? Then we have what we call technical SEO. Technical SEO really has to do with the technical aspect. Usually software engineers or software developers work in that direction. They ensure that, for example, the loading speed of your website is high, right? When people click on your website, they don't have to wait forever. It loads fast. They ensure that your website shows rightly on the phone and on the laptop. You will agree with me that websites don't show the same way on phone and on laptop and on laptops, right? Shows effectively on phone. Technical SEO ensures that the website shows effectively on phone things that those are the things that technical SEO will do for you. Another form of digital marketing is what we call search engine marketing, right? Search engine marketing. Now, search engine marketing and search engine optimization are the same. They have the same objective, which is to ensure that your website ranks to the first page, right? They have the same objective. The only difference is that search engine marketing is paid while search engine optimization is free, right? So search engine marketing is paid while search engine optimization is free. That's the difference. Now, you're going to ask me, which one should I do? Should I do the paid one or the free one? Well, the paid one has its advantages in the sense that the paid one will give you faster results. Like if you're doing search engine marketing, which is paid, your website will rank on the first page very fast, and you're going to have customers very fast, right? Now, we usually do search engine optimization or search engine marketing with what we call the Google Ad account. The Google Ad account is what we use to do search engine marketing, right? While the Google Search Console is what we use to do search engine optimization. Now, I'm going to go into details because I just want to give you the idea for now, right? But there are more trainings coming where I'm going to take time and break these things down. Because talking about search engine marketing, we start talking about running Google adverts. There are different types of Google ads. There are what we call, text ads. There are what we call shopping ads. Have you ever made a research on Google and then you see pictures appear? Pictures, maybe you want to buy a shoe. You type shoes for sale and then you see pictures appear. Pictures and prices, they appear, right? Those are what we call Google adverts. They are what we call shopping adverts. There are what we call display adverts. For example, I don't know, has it happened? I'm sure it has happened to some of you, right? You are watching a video on YouTube. Another video will come and interrupt the video that you were watching on YouTube. And then it shows itself as an advert for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Has it happened to you? I'm sure it has happened to some of you. Sometimes you are watching a video even on Facebook, then the video will stop. Another video will just come in and interrupt it, show itself for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then disappear, and your video will continue, right? We call that display adverts. Display ads are a type of Google ads, right? Now, I'm struggling not to go into details, right? But display ads are a type of Google ads, right? There is a lot to explain around that, right? But then what I want you to know is what search engine optimization is, what search engine marketing is, and the fact that search engine optimization is free, search engine marketing is paid, right? Just know that for now, and the objectives. As we push further into other trainings, you're going to understand how they work. Then we have, of course, the one everybody knows, social media marketing, right? Social media marketing simply means promoting your products and services using social media platforms, right? You can do so with content. You can do so running adverts, right? We're going to have a class on how to run ads, right? We're going to have a class where I'm going to show you how to run Facebook ads, how to run Instagram ads, right? Running ads simply means touching a bigger number of people, because usually when you make a post on social media, only those who follow you and your friends can see your post, and maybe a few more people, right? But running adverts means that you want to touch beyond just the people who follow you. You want to touch thousands of people, and it's usually not free, right? Now, one of the easiest ways to grow an account is to run adverts, right? Once you start running adverts, your account will grow very fast. So, social media is quite easy, because that's what everybody knows, right? Maybe the only thing I want to highlight, right? Of course, each of these things I'm teaching are things we can have definite courses for. you know. But then I'm giving you the broad idea so that you understand what digital marketing is, right? I think that one of the challenges I've noticed with people on social media is just the fact that beyond the fact that their content doesn't solve problems, I also think that many people don't plan content, right? For example, if you want to post on social media, you don't wake up on Monday before you're like, what am I posting today? On Tuesday, what am I posting today? No, that's not how you do it, right? You plan your content ahead of time. Usually what I do is that during the weekend, right? During the weekend when I'm free, like Saturday, Sunday, I'll plan my content for like 1 week or 2 weeks in advance. And then sometimes I'll even schedule the content. And then while I'm doing other things, it's posting automatically on my behalf. You see that? So not only do you have to create content, but you have to plan your content ahead of time so you don't run out of content. Now, trust me, content creation can be very hard, especially doing it consistently. It can be hard, right? I remember when I was working for a university here, I created content every day for over 3 years. I can assure you, don't mind I'm explaining it now, it may look like it's nothing, right? But let me put you on a challenge. Create content just for 6 days. Let me put you just on a 6 days content creation challenge. You're going to realize that it's difficult, especially people who will not be creating content that will add value to others. On Monday, you're going to say, buy from me. On Tuesday, you will say, I'm the best seller of clothes, I don't know, in Nigeria. Wednesday, you will say something. Thursday, after 2 weeks, you'll notice that you've said everything that you know, right? You notice that you've said everything that you know. There's nothing else to say, right? So if you don't plan your content ahead of time, you will run out of content, right? And you will be tired. You see that? So it's very important to plan your content ahead of time when it comes to social media, right? So social media is another form of digital marketing. Then we have another form of digital marketing, which is called email marketing, right? Email marketing. Email marketing has to do with reaching out to your customers through email, right? Now, email marketing is usually regarded as, I won't call it difficult, but I'll just call it a little different, compared to other forms of digital marketing, because one of the challenges with emails, right, is that, well, it's not a challenge, it's a fact, is that the open rate of emails is quite low. In fact, if I ask some of you here, I'm very sure that if I ask some of you right here to go and check your emails, for some people, we're going to see 1,000 emails unread, 500 emails unread. I'm sure some people here don't even know the last time they opened their email, right? So that's the challenge with email marketing. It's the fact that many people don't open their emails, right? So the open rate of emails is about 15 to 20%. So if you send out 100 emails, over 15 to 20 people will open. I'm not talking about people who will respond. I'm talking about people who will open the email. 15 to 20% will open the email. Now, out of those 20 who will open, about 10 or 7 will reply. Out of those 10 or 7 who will reply, about 2 or 3 will buy. That's why it's recommended to do email marketing, especially if you are a profit-making business, right? It's recommended to do email marketing when you're selling products that are expensive, right? Let's say you're selling a product that costs maybe $300, $500, $1,000. It makes sense to do email marketing because even if at the end of a month, right, you've only sold 3 of those products, that's about $2,000, which is not small money in Africa, right? So it's recommended to do email marketing when you are selling products that are expensive. It's also recommended to use email marketing as a retargeting method, like maybe people come to your website, put in their emails, and then you can retarget them. You can get back to them, right? Now, non-profit organizations use emails, to send out stuff like newsletters. Emails can could be a very nice method to send out newsletters, keep your community updated, and all of that, right? And today, right, today it's even possible to know my email from my name, right? If you have my name, you can know my email. There is a tool called snuff.io. I'm going to drop it in the chat, right? It's called snuff.io. I've dropped it in the chat. Snuff.io allows you to know people's emails from their names. Now, this tool is very important because you will agree with me that there are some people, especially some very important personalities, that you may not be able to find their personal email just anywhere or their professional email just everywhere. But you can use this tool to find somebody's professional email or somebody's personal email once you have their name, right? So you can use that tool. Now, also, when it comes to email marketing, you will agree with me that sending out one email is easy. I can send out one email. I can send out 2 emails, right? It's easy. But think about sending out 1,000 emails. You cannot do that manually, right? You cannot send out 1,000 emails manually. That's impossible. You cannot do that. You cannot send out 10,000 emails one after the other. You will get tired. That's why we have what we call email marketing platforms. Email marketing platforms allow you to send emails in bulk. You see that? For example, you can send out 1,000 emails in a day. You just need to have an email list, right? Once you have maybe an Excel sheet that has all the emails you want to send out to, you can use an email marketing platform to send out emails in bulk, in huge quantity. Now, there are many of those platforms. I think one of the most popular of them is what we call the MailChimp. The MailChimp allows you to send emails in bulk. We have the MailChimp, we have Aweber, we have Constant Contact. These are all email marketing platforms that allow you to send emails in bulk. Now, again, I will not have time to go into all the details, right? Because I'm giving you the idea so that you know. Now, another form of digital marketing, is mobile marketing. Mobile marketing is actually a form of digital marketing, as in getting to people through phone calls, getting to people through SMS, doing what we call in-app messages, in-app notifications, right? Notifications that you receive in apps, optimizing websites so that it could fit into mobile systems, That's what we call mobile marketing, because when you're done developing a website, you have to optimize it in a way that it will fit into the mobile phone frame. You see that? So mobile marketing is also a form of digital marketing, right? You can send out SMS, you can do calls, you can optimize websites so that they fit in the mobile device framework, So that's a whole form of digital marketing in itself, right? Now, another key aspect of digital marketing is analytics and data tracking. Now, to be very honest, everything that I'm explaining to you here is a class on its own. But then I'm struggling to make it very simple, right? Like every single topic that I gave to you here could be taken on a 1 hour, 2 hours class each. Now, analytics is a very, very important aspect of digital marketing. For example, if you have a website, how do you know that the website you have is actually working? How do you know that people are visiting that website? How do you know that people are actually finding what they are looking for on that website? You will need analytics. For example, we have what we call the Google Analytics. The Google Analytics allows you to know everything that is happening in a website. If you connect your website to your Google Analytics, you're going to see everything happening in your website. You will see the number of people opening, clicking, joining your, opening your website. You will see how long people stay on your website. You will see the different pages that people visit when they come to your website. You will even see where those people come from, whether they are coming from a specific city, a specific region, a specific country, that's what the Google Analytics will do for you. The Google Analytics shows you everything that is happening within the website, right? Now, there are other tools which I may not be able have time to mention, like the Google Search Console. The Google Search Console is also another tool that gives you information about what happens, in your website. You see that it gives you information about the keywords that people use to join your website. You see that data analytics is a whole section of digital marketing. In fact, even when you're running adverts, let's say you're running a Facebook ad, how do you know that that Facebook ad is working? Or maybe you set up a campaign. We're going to have a class on how to set up campaigns, because one campaign can have several ad sets. One ad set can have several adverts. I cannot go into that now. But if you run, for example, if you set up one campaign with over 10 adverts, right? At the end of the day, you will need to know which advert worked the most. You need to know, because you need to know that advert A did better than advert B, so that you can focus your attention on the advert that did better. The only way you can do that is through analytics, is by using what we call the Facebook Insight, or the Ad Manager Insight, entering what we call the reporting room, the ad reporting room in the Ad Manager. You see that? So data analytics is a whole section, and there are people who focus only on this. There are people who are digital, data trackers, meaning that they don't create content, they don't do anything, they just analyze data and they make money from there. You see that? So this is really me just trying to give you an idea of what it is, right? Then we have another aspect of digital marketing called affiliate or influencer marketing. Now, I'm sure that many people know influencer marketing. Influencer marketing means that, you take advantage of an influencer to make yourself known. For example, if I have a page with, let's say, 10,000 followers, and I want my page to grow from 10,000 followers to 50,000 followers, one of the easiest way to do it is to just look for somebody who has 1 million followers and collaborate with that person. Now, it's usually not going to be free. One time somebody asked me a very interesting question, right? Somebody asked me a very interesting question. The person asked me, Simplice, is it possible to grow, to have 100,000 followers in one day? That's what the person asked me. Can I have 100,000 followers in one day? I told the person, of course you can. You can have 100,000 followers in one day. It's very easy. Just have an interview with Rihanna, have another interview with Barack Obama, have another interview with Davido. Look for 5 major influencers, have interviews with them. You're going to have 100,000 followers in a day. Now, the problem is not whether it's possible. The problem is whether you have what it takes to have it, right? Whether you have the money that it takes, whether you have the relationship that it takes to be able to achieve that. That's influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is just taking advantage of somebody's influence to grow your brand, right? And we also have what we call affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing simply means selling on behalf of somebody. For example, there are people who do affiliate marketing on Amazon. They go on Amazon, set up an account, sell another person's product, and they have commissions. They go on Shopify, set up an account, sell another person's product, and they have commissions. That's what we call affiliate marketing, right? Come on, are we following? Are we following? Please, if you're following, drop a comment so that I know you're following, right? Are we following? If you're following, drop a comment, say something in the chat so that I know that you're following. Please drop something in the chat if you're following. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I can see the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Please drop something in the chat if you're following. That's very important. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, right? Very important. So that's affiliate or influencer marketing. Then we have another aspect of digital marketing, which is called e-commerce. You see, now e-commerce is different from e-commerce is a little bit different. Well, I wouldn't call it different, but e-commerce is that aspect of digital marketing that deals with, e-commerce platforms, right? E-commerce platforms. Now, the advantage of e-commerce platforms, for example, there are many e-commerce platforms, right? Like Amazon. Amazon is an e-commerce platform. Shopify is an e-commerce platform. Jumia is an e-commerce platform. The advantage with e-commerce platforms is that e-commerce platforms already have a traffic, right? For example, a platform like Amazon can have like 10 million visits in one day. So the advantage with e-commerce platforms is that you benefit from an already existing traffic compared to when you create your website. You see, if you create your own website, it may take you work. You have to do SEO, SEM, social media marketing before you start having a certain number of traffic, a certain number of people following you, right? But guess what? When you go on Amazon, Amazon already has 10 million followers per day. So you don't need to market Amazon. Amazon is already known. So the advantage of using e-commerce platforms is that you benefit from the traction that they already have, right? And that's another aspect of digital marketing on its own, which has to do with, registering, opening in shops in different e-commerce platforms. You can start a shop on Amazon. You can start a shop on Shopify, right? Recently, I was setting up a Shopify store for somebody, right, in Nigeria. You can start a shop on Shopify, right? Now, some of these websites have, all of them actually, all these platforms, they have the free version, they have the premium version, right? So you can set up your store and you start making your sales. Sales are not only made on social media. People believe that sales are only made on Facebook and Instagram. You can actually make sales on Shopify. You can make sales on Amazon. You can benefit from the traffic that is there and start making your sales. E-commerce platforms are a very huge way to make your sales, to make sales. I assure you, very huge. Because once you set up your store there, your store is visible to many people, right? Of course, there are still a number of things that you have to do, right, to set up a store effectively. But I assure you, once you set up your store, it's visible to many people and you can start making your sales. So that's what we call e-commerce. That's why you hear e-commerce and digital marketing, because e-commerce really has to do with taking advantage of this e-commerce website to make your sales, right? I hope you've understood what e-commerce is, right? Then we have the last type, which we're going to look at, which is marketing automation. Marketing automation is another section of digital marketing on its own. This section of digital marketing has to do with, automating, creating chatbots, that can give automatic responses. Now, chatbots are very important when it comes to digital marketing, especially when you start having many customers. It's easy to manage customers when you have 2, 3, 4 customers. But when you start having 500 of them, trust me, you will need chatbots. I remember I was working as digital marketing officer at a university here, called Yaoundé International Business School. Then when it was about time for school to resume, I noticed that in one day, I could answer like 50 questions and they are the same questions in one day. I could find myself answering the same questions over and over. How much is the school fee? I answer. Another person comes. How much is the school fee? I answer. Like sometimes I'll find myself answering the same questions like 50 times. I could simply avoid that. by just creating a chatbot that will give automatic answers. You see that? So automation is a whole section of digital marketing. It saves you time. It saves you a lot of time. Building customer relationship management systems, that saves a lot of time. Have you not gone on some website, then you ask a question and then you have automated responses? That's a way for them to save time. Even WhatsApp has automated responses. You see that? So marketing automation is a whole section of digital marketing. A whole section of digital marketing on its own. We also have many other tools. For example, we have tools like HubSpot. These are tools that allow you to manage several platforms on one page. For example, if I'm using HubSpot, for example, I don't need, if I want to make a post, I don't need to make a post on Facebook, then make another post on Instagram, then make another post on Twitter, make another post. No. If I'm using HubSpot, or another one is called, I've forgotten that name. My God, how would I forget that? For Buffer. Buffer is another platform. Buffer allows you to manage several platforms in one place. So if I create a Buffer account, I'll be able to put contents on all platforms at the same time. The advantage with using Buffer is that there is lesser distraction. Sometimes you want to go on Facebook and make a post. Before you know it, you've been distracted. You want to go on Instagram, make a post. Before you know it, you've been distracted by another post. Now you find yourself liking, commenting other posts. You see that? But if you use a tool like Buffer allows you to manage several platforms in one page, run ads on several platforms in one place. I don't have to go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, go to X. I can do everything on one spot called Buffer. So this is another segment of digital marketing on its own. You see that? So it's important that you understand all these areas of digital marketing so that you don't think that digital marketing is only video editing and, I don't know, some text content creation. It's larger than that. And each of these is enough for one person to focus on and earn a living from. Sometimes, out of all these 10 areas that I've mentioned, someone will focus on just one, become an expert at it, and start making money from it. You see that? Now, let's go to the last part of our presentation, right? The last part of our presentation, right? We have to finish in less than an hour. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, right? Please don't forget to do that. I hope you're following, right? I hope you're following. If you're following, drop in the chat, I'm following, right? If you're following, drop in the chat, I'm following. If you're following, drop in the chat, I'm following, right? So that I know that you're following. Okay. Now, I'm going to take questions. Also, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, right? I'm going to be answering your questions. Drop them in the chat if you have questions. Now, the question I want to answer is, where do I start from? After all these things I've explained, right? I've probably explained to you the different, phases and areas of digital marketing. Where do I start from? I want to start a business online. Where do I start from, right? The first thing to do is to choose a business that you want to do. What business do you want to do? Just select it, right? I want to make sure that we don't cross an hour, right? I always make sure that the sessions are not beyond an hour, just 1 hour, right? So first step? Choose a business, choose a product that you want to sell, right? Choose a business, choose a product that you want to sell, right? The next thing is to define your target audience. Who are the people you want to touch? Now, defining your target audience is a whole class on its own. Like I told you, expect a lot more trainings coming, right? Stay in the group because a lot more trainings are coming, right? Because there's a whole training on how to identify your target audience. So define your target audience, meaning that ask yourself the question, who are the people who are likely to buy my products or your set or and my services? Right? Start from there. Just start from there. Just start from there. Ask yourself the question, what is their age range? What are their dreams? What are their aspirations? Just ask, where can I find them? Just ask yourself, those questions, right? There are hacks to go about that, but today I'm giving you the general idea. In the upcoming trainings, I'm really going to be breaking them down for you, right? Once you define your target audience, outline your brand. That's the next thing. Outline your brand. Outline your brand means define your brand's mission, vision, logo, colors. To do a logo today is very easy. It's very easy to do a logo today. Just go on Canva, just go on Canva. To do a logo today is Canva will give you free logos, right? So define your brand vision, mission, vision, value, logo, colors, right? You need to have colors for your brand. If you look at MTN uses two colors, yellow and black. Facebook uses the blue color. It's even called the blue app. You too, you need to have colors for your own business, specific colors that you choose, right? Which you're going to be using frequently, right? Go on Canva, get a logo. Let me show you. It's so easy to get a logo on Canva. Let me show you. Like in 5 minutes. Let's have a logo quickly in 5 minutes, right? It's so easy. Let me remove this. I want to show you how to get a logo, right, on Canva. Like, it's really, really very easy. Anyone who is even versed with Canva will tell you, right? Now, I'm not saying that if you can as well get a professional, right, who will get a logo for you. That's totally okay. You can as well get a professional who will get a logo for you. Totally okay. But you can head on to Canva and just type, let me just type here logo, right? Logo template. Logo template. I'll just type logo template, right? It's going to show me so many. I'm just going to click on any. I'll just start from anyone, right? I'll just start on from anyone, right? I'll come here and put the name of my sector of activity, right? Maybe, I don't know, which sector of activity should I put here? Let's say I'm into, what can I say? Agriculture, right? Just agriculture. I'm just going to put agriculture. So I'll type here agriculture logo. Like, it's so easy, right? It's going to show me, Canva will show me several templates that I can just modify. It shows me templates that I can just modify. I can select any. I can select this one, for example. I can select this one. I hope you're seeing my screen. Let it not be that okay. I can select this one. Whatever my name is, I'll put there Simplice Farms, maybe Sims Farms. I'm just putting whatever. I can come down here and put something, for everyone. I'm really just writing whatever, I'm just modifying. Yeah, so there you go. I have a logo. I can modify. I can now look for different shades of this same logo, right? Maybe I do it white on black. Like, it's that easy to create a logo on Canva. If you don't want to pay, you can come and you maybe make another shade, right? Let me make another shade. I'm going to color this, if I'll make this white, just different shades of the logo, right? That's how easy it is. Nothing complicated. I'll make this one white, make this one down white, right? I can duplicate this and make the black on white version, right? Like, yeah, that's logo, you know, that's it. Like, that's how easy it is. You know, that's how easy it is. Like, we just produced a logo in less than 3 seconds. So we can have this, we can have this, or we can have this, you know. So you can get a template on Canva. Well, that is if you don't want to pay somebody, graphic designer, to do a logo for you, right? You can get one on Canva. That's how simple it is to get one, right? That's how simple it is. So you can get a logo quickly on Canva, right? Quickly on Canva. Now let me go back to, oh, somebody is asking, is Canva an app? Canva is a website. Let me drop the Canva website for you, right? Let me drop the Canva website for you. Now, we're going to have more practical classes, eh? Don't worry. Today was not a practical class. The idea today was to show you digital marketing in broad, right? Just the idea for today's class was to just tell you about digital marketing. We're going to have many practical classes where I'm going to be showing you stuff like this. Like, it's really easy. Let me share the Canva stuff with you, the Canva website link with you, right? You can easily have, and not just that, you can do social media posts on Canva. You can do so many things on Canva, right? I've dropped the link for you in the chat. Yeah, so choose a business, define your target audience, outline your brand, define your objectives, right? Define your objective. What are your objectives? What do you want to achieve? You know what an objective is, right? A good objective should be smart. Sure, you know. Good objective should be smart, means it should be specific, measurable, relevant, achievable, and time-bound. That's how a good objective should be. Please, saying I want to make more money is not an objective. Saying I want to become an entrepreneur is not an objective. Saying I want to have many customers is not an objective. It's only called objective when it has a numerical figure attached to it and when it is within a specific time, right? Whatever doesn't have a plan, whatever doesn't have a timeline is not an objective, right? So you can call it a dream, right? Maybe you are dreaming or you're hoping, but for it to be called an objective, it needs to have a plan, right? So don't say my objective online is to have many customers, or my objective is to make more money. That's not an objective. Say I want to make 10 million in 30 days. That's an objective. You know, I want to have 50 customers in 20 days. That's an objective. If you don't attach a numerical figure to it, please, it's not an objective, right? Note that. Note that. An objective has to be specific. There is this acronym called SMART. Specific means easy to explain, you know, or if we want to push it further, we would say it should answer the 5W questions. You know, I don't want to go into, you know, some terms, but specific means easy to explain, you know, well defined. Measurable. Measurable means that there should be a specific figure attached to it. What's the quantity? It should be quantifiable, you know. Achievable means that you need to have the resources to achieve it. You know, you need to have the money to achieve it. You need to have the manpower to achieve it. You know, you need to have the competence to achieve it, the skill to achieve it, right? Relevant means it needs to align with your overall business goal, right? Time bound, of course, means it needs to be within a specific time. Please note that if it's not the way I explained, it's not an objective, right? It's a dream, it's a hope, it's a wish, right? So maybe you should say, my wish is to have many customers, not my objective. Because once you call it objective, it has to be measurable, right? Please take note. That's very important. Okay. Once you define your objective, the next thing to do is to choose which digital marketing strategy you're going to use. I showed you many of them, right? I showed you content marketing, social media marketing, SEO, SEM, I showed you different types of digital marketing. So you select the one which you want to go for, right? And then lastly, you create what we call your KPIs, right? Which will allow you to measure your progress, right? Yeah. So we've come to the end of our class for today. We've come to the end of our class for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something. I would like to hear from you in the comment, in the chat. Please drop something in the comment if you learned something. Drop something in the chat. Please also ask your questions, right? Ask your questions. Please, if you have questions, feel free to ask them, right? Drop your questions. Now, you can either drop your questions here or you can drop your questions in the group, right? I'm going to open the group so that if you have questions, you can drop them, right? So that I can answer them for you, right? So thank you very much for showing up for today's session. I hope you learned something. Now, the idea for today's session was really to explain to you digital marketing in bulk. I was just giving you ideas here and there, right? But trust me, as we go further, I'm going to be breaking it down, right? And also, I can also accompany you, right? If you want to have a personalized training in digital marketing, right? Maybe you want me to train you, right? You want me to take 1 month and train you in digital marketing, like follow a specific curriculum and train you in digital marketing. You can contact me, but that's not free, right? You will have to pay, definitely. So if you want to have like a 1 month intensive training in digital marketing, you can contact me and I'll train you, but it's not free. Right? Also, if you want me to accompany you, somebody can say, well, I would want that I'm about to start a business online and I want you to accompany me for 1 month, for 2 months, for 3 months. I want us to work together for 2 months, 3 months, right? You can also contact me and I'm going to accompany you, but then it's not free, right? That option is not free. If you want free training, stay on my platform. I'm going to be sharing a lot of free trainings. But if you want a one-on-one training session, coaching session, you will have to pay. Right? Also, if you want me to accompany you, you will have to pay. If you want any of those options, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be glad to do that with you. Right? Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something from today's session. I'll be waiting for your questions, right? Thank you so much. Have an amazing day, right? Thank you. And I'll communicate in the group the date for the next training, right? Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye. Thank you.